We all live on the same planet, but we live according to different laws. We will walk through the richest and poorest, country with freedom and without, and through countries where we would not want to be born. We will show the most attractive and most repulsive countries and try to figure out whether this is really true and why. In this episode we will talk about Bangladesh, which is completely opposite to Canada, and check the description for an episode about Canada. Which one of them is rich and which one is poor, you already guessed for yourself. But why is this so? Let's go. Bangladesh is one of the poorest countries in the world. It is a kind of Mariana Trench among the countries of the world. If someone does not know, it is in Asia, next to India. Its inhabitants are 10 times poorer than the inhabitants of Canada, and the country is 137th in the world in terms of income per person. By area, Bangladesh is smaller than Canada, and in this territory, which is almost 66 times smaller than the territory of Canada, lives 168 million people. Apart from the dwarf countries, Bangladesh is the most populous country in the world. Bangladesh has much in common with India: culture, traditions and customs. However, the country is not inhabited by Indians, but Bengalis who speak the Bengali language. In fact, it is almost impossible to differentiate a Hindu from a Bengali, like a Japanese from a Korean. Bangladesh is translated from Bengali, is the country of Bengalis. English for communication is not needed here. Unlike multinational India, almost 90% of Bangladeshi people practice Islam. Some locals, to show that they are different from people of a different faith, dye their beard or hair in red. Worldwide, there are over 250 million Bengalis, about 100 million of whom lives in India. Bangladesh is a relatively young state. After the partition of India, the territory of modern Bangladesh became East Pakistan. And only after the war for his independence in 1971, it became an independent country with the current name. Despite such disappointing characteristics, it is a vibrant and very unusual country. The first thing that catches your eye in Bangladesh is people. They are everywhere, both in the city and in the village. The majority lives on the street. There is a feeling that people only spend the night in the houses and spend most of the day outside, where they work, eat, wash and relax. Due to the lack of land, many residents build their houses along the railway tracks. Life on rails here is a commonplace. Between the trains, it seems that these roads have long been abandoned. Children play everywhere, mothers bath their babies, and garbage is everywhere. But after the train hoots, this impression instantly disappears. Of course, not everyone managed to clear the way, and not always, and even in the hustle and bustle of a slum life, a beep is sometimes just not heard. Therefore, mortality in these areas is very high. The capital of the country is Dhaka. It is one of the largest cities in the world. This is a real shocking Asia, an environmental disaster zone, and an apocalypse on Earth. A catastrophically overpopulated city with about 20 million inhabitants, Dhaka has one of the highest percentage of homeless people among the capitals of the world. This is the dirtiest city in the world, which is literally littered with garbage. The Barikanda River, which runs through Dhaka, is one of the dirtiest rivers on the planet. Garbage, industrial waste, and even the remains of animals and people are dumped in there. Despite all this, the townspeople use its water in everyday life, which is why a lot of people die from skin and cancer diseases. They bath right inside the river, and it seems from washing in such water they become even dirtier. Poverty and overpopulation in Dhaka give a scary impression. 70% of the population lives below the poverty line. Bangladesh is a rickshaw country. Urban traffic is chaos from cycle rickshaws, trucks, cars and pedestrians. Roads in the capital are broken and covered with mud. There is no central sewage system in Dhaka, and all human waste directly flows into lakes or rivers, and then into the Bay of Bengal. Dhaka is a city where they do not care about life. These are people who have not seen another way of life and do not know what the comfort is. In general, so far Dhaka is some kind of trash and gloom, and everyone who visits the city at least once afterwards thanks God that he has everything. In such a poor country as Bangladesh, people still believe in a large family as a faithful guarantor of a secure old age. Almost 40% of the country's inhabitants have no education, and the country is ranked 143rd in the world by Education Index. Bengalis massively do their needs in any corner that can turn up on the road. Its terrible unsanitary conditions leads to malaria, dysentery, body ulcers, eye inflammation, dengue, fever, and the list goes on and on. Bangladesh is an unsafe country. Local crime is many times more active, worse and tougher than in India. The main danger is pocket robbers. Bangladesh is using child labor everywhere. Small factories, workshops, street tradings. Children start to work from the age of 5. They live in extremely difficult conditions. According to UNICEF, 7.4 million children between the age of 5 and 17 works in Bangladesh. Children in the country are not registered until they are 10 years old, due to the very high probability that they will not survive in such conditions. Currently, this state, along with China, is one of the main suppliers of cheap labor. Clothing and textiles in Bangladesh account for 80% of exports. You can see "Made in Bangladesh" in your t-shirts or suits. From this, the country receives $35 billion every year. Mainly women work in this area. Large companies set up their companies in Bangladesh due to cheap labor. Despite all the difficulties of life, the people of Bangladesh are welcoming and friendly. They respect each other, and their national holidays are striking in scope and beauty. Bangladesh is not well known to foreign tourists, although it is a beautiful country with wonderful nature, rich culture, and very friendly people. That is all, friends. I hope you like this type of video. Also check my other videos on the channel about Canada and the tallest skyscrapers from around the world. Good luck and see you soon. Goodbye.